Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYNT Mountain News at 11.
Good evening, I'm Connor James. Now, fire season does not officially begin until October 1st, but the number of forest fires is high and continually growing. Day by day, counties are adding burning bans to help control the risk. WYMT's Lacey Roberts talked with the Kentucky Forestry Division about one of those fires and has more.
The recent high temperatures and lack of rain creates the perfect conditions for forest fires.
Division Forestry.
Jason Hunt, chief forester here in Hazard, says they are doing their best while being short-staffed.
They're just trying to figure out what the active fire is right now and what we're going to do.
Right before 2 o'clock Tuesday afternoon, he received a call about an ongoing fire on the Floyd-Pike County line.
The fire was discovered by one of our rangers that already had an existing fire in that area. It was about a mile or so away.
Dispatching 2 crews from each county to help.
Currently, it's going to be about 600 acres at this time. So it grew pretty fast. It was several sets along a strip mine.
By the time I arrived, crews managed to contain the fire with just a whiff of smoke left behind.
We have a lot of dry grass and a lot of fine fuels, so it burns rapidly and quick.
While some counties have yet to put a hold on burn bans, Hunt still has a message for everyone.
We're seeing the same conditions all over, so just no burning.
That alone will help contain these fires and keep others safe. Reporting in Perry County, Lacey Roberts, WYMT Mountain News.
With no rain and low humidity all month, officials are asking that people adhere to these burn bans. Well, more than $400,000 was awarded to the Somerset Fire Department. Congressman Hal Rogers announced the grant of $430,000 today. The money comes from FEMA and will go towards hiring 4 new full-time firefighters. That allows the department to respond with 3 fire engines when necessary.
And like you just heard, it's definitely been dry over the past month and a half. We have gone 19 consecutive days without rain. Of course, that's recorded at the National Weather Service office in Jackson. Usually the average for the month is right around 3.46 inches, and we have received no rain. There's a look at that drought monitor. Once again, you can see that moderate drought for really almost all of Perry County, all of Breathitt, Magoffin County, a little bit of Knott County. You could see a little bit of Clay in that, Leslie as well, and also a little bit of Owsley and Lee County. Now, as we look at satellite and radar, we did not add any rain to the bucket today. Definitely on the drier side. Once again, we were on the warmer side as well. Still are on the warmer side, upper 60s to lower 70s across the mountains. Those dew points a little bit on that drier side, those low to mid 60s, so a little bit muggy, but not too bad. As we head throughout the rest of those overnight hours, we'll see temperatures drop right around those low to mid 60s. Mostly clear skies as we head into the overnight hours, of course, with patchy fog late tonight, early into tomorrow. And does that heat continue as we head into the next few days? I'll have that and more coming up in a little bit.
All right, thank you, Paige. Well, health officials say flu activity arrived early this year. Officials in Laurel County say in other parts of the county, flu cases and deaths have already been reported, which is ahead of the typical October through May schedule. Nurses hope that everyone will get vaccinated, especially those around infants who are not able to be vaccinated.
So especially those caretakers, to be sure that they're vaccinated to help prevent the spread to those infants, which the flu tends to hit harder.
If anyone thinks they have the flu, they are asked to call their doctor immediately or go to an urgent care clinic. Well, 2 Laurel County parents face criminal abuse charges after deputies say they found the couple's 4 children living in filth. Deputies say Christopher and Brandy Bowling were being evicted from their home. Photos show the trash filling each room. On their arrest citation, deputies said the house was unfit for living conditions for the couple's 4 children that range in age between 2 to 12.
We actually entered the residence, and when we did, we couldn't believe it. No waste, just a lot of spoiled food and trash everywhere. It's unbelievable to believe that children were living in that set of circumstances.
The Laurel County Sheriff's Office says they never received complaints about the home. The children were put in the custody of social services. Well, officials have identified the person who died while hiking Monday. Members of the Wolf County Search and Rescue Team responded to a fallen climber at Muir Valley on Monday. The Wolf County coroner tells us the victim was 59-year-old Martin Vogel. Vogel volunteered as a youth climbing coach in Lee County at the recreational center. The coroner said they checked Vogel's equipment and did not find anything faulty. And a Louisville couple are among several people injured after a hot air balloon crash outside Las Vegas. Tom Stenton is still in the hospital days after the crash. His wife, Shauna, is now recovering. She had surgery for a broken ankle and femur and also suffered a punctured lung. The couple say they were on a sightseeing tour when their hot air balloon went down. Nevada police say the pilot and some other passengers were thrown from the gondola. It's not clear what caused the crash. Well, a new lawsuit claims the Republican Attorney General candidate isn't qualified to run. The lawsuit argues Daniel Cameron doesn't have the 8 years of practicing attorney required to run for Attorney General. Cameron was admitted by the Kentucky Bar Association in October of 2011. However, the first 2 years he spent as a clerk for a U.S. district judge. The lawsuit was filed in Jefferson Circuit Court by Joseph Jackson. Cameron faces Democrat Greg Stumbo in November. A statement from Cameron calls the lawsuit, quote, old school bullying. At an event aimed at addressing problems facing higher educations in Kentucky, Governor Matt Bevin addresses a major guilty verdict in Frankfort. Following the symposium, Bevin responded to the guilty verdict on federal charges surrounding Kentucky's Secretary of State Allison Lundergan Grimes' father.
There has been systemic corruption in Frankfort for years. The Lundergan family has been deep in it. That is evident by these latest convictions. It's not a surprise. There's nobody who's in that town that's surprised by this outcome at all.
Jerry Lundergan was found guilty of 10 counts over illegal contributions related to his daughter's unsuccessful run for U.S. Senate in 2014 against Mitch McConnell. Well, Kentucky's Democratic Party is calling on the state election board to remove nearly 175,000 registered votes from the inactive list. The list includes people who have not participated in the previous 2 federal election cycles or anyone who hasn't updated their information within that same time period. But Secretary of State Allison Lundergan Grimes says she's concerned some of those names shouldn't be inactive. She says that could lead to polling place errors and keeping candidates from canvassing. The list of deactivated names include both Republicans and Democrats. However, it wouldn't stop you from being able to vote come November. The use of counterfeit money is an increasing concern during the festival season. United States Secret Service Special Agent Paul Buda stopped at the Hazard Chamber meeting this morning to discuss counterfeit money. Counterfeit transactions increase during festival time because of the cash-based interaction between merchants and consumers. But Buda says a crowd size at festivals makes it harder to catch counterfeiters.
It's hard to attribute to the specific counterfeiter, and they count on the anonymity of the crowd to help them move through and pass their counterfeit.
A couple ways to check your money are first to check if the security features, including the embedded security strip on the bill. The bill should also have a 3-dimensional feel to it. If you encounter counterfeit money, you are asked to contact your local police department. Well, we all have our stories to tell from living here in eastern Kentucky, but one woman from Leslie County published a book about her tales. Author Amy Brudnicki hopes her writing inspires others to tell their stories.
I wrote this really for me so I wouldn't forget memories, but I also wrote it so people could read it and then it would prompt them to write their own stories.
Brudnicki is having a free book signing, reading, and tea event this Saturday at the Big House in Wendover at 4 p.m. Her books are found on Amazon. Well, Eastern Kentucky native Tyler Childers is coming back home, and you'll soon have a chance to see him live. He'll ring in the new year in Pike County. The Appalachian Wireless Arena announced today that Childers will headline 2 shows at the arena to wrap up the 2019 season. The first show will take place December 28th, and the second will be New Year's Eve on December 31st. Ticket sales begin Friday. Purchases can be made online by phone and at the Community Trust Bank box office. Well, coming up at 11, investigations continue into a West Virginia medical center as 2 homicide investigations continue. But first, a tropical storm hits Texas. We'll take you there.
And warmer temperatures continue along with those drier conditions, but for how long? I'll have those details coming up.